And letting everyone.
Okay, well, it's 12:01 and people will just continue to join us, I know. And it's very exciting today. And good afternoon, ladies. And whatever part of the country you're in, it might be good morning. But anyway, we're excited. This is our May Mother's Day event, basically. It's close. We have today, we have Brianna Harris is going to be talking to us, and her topic today is balancing broker and baby. So in a few minutes, we'll get to Brianna, and it's very exciting to see all the faces out there. And we just love the young people that are stepping up and helping us and being on our calls, and it's, you know, it's sharing their stories, and that's what it's all about. We as a mentoring group, it's sharing, it's helping each other, trying to help get us to the top of our profession. We have so many things that, you know, that we're working on, but Inspire is a mentoring group that's it's encourages, educates, and inspires all women to reach their higher and higher goals in life. And if you have someone out there, or you have a, you know, question for us, you can go to it's Inspire WMG.com, and you can ask us questions and everything. And that also, you'll be able to review the speakers from the past. And Brandy, right after this session, Brandy will put this session on there also, and you get to see Laura. She was on one, you know, recently. And we had Megan with MBS Highway, and we had Diana with MBS Highway, and I think Valerie's on there. And it's whatever you've missed, you want to go back and look at, because it's always some really great sessions. It's Inspire is started out, we had in 2000, what was, no, it was 2021, we had our first one in Vegas, and we had Ginger Bell, Laura Brandeo, Christina Jenkins, Carrie Gusmus, Kim Nichols, and me. And that is our founding members. And it's very exciting because we just keep, you know, rotating some of these girls around, and, you know, because they do want to help mentor. That's what this group's all about, is mentoring and helping you. So if you've got any needs, please let us know. And we're not going to take up, I'm not going to take up too much more time, because we know this is Mother's Day, you know, month, and they are the glue that binds the families together, and they often make sacrifices. And I'm sure you girls can remember your mom making sacrifices for you. So I'm going to let Laura Brandeo, like I said, she's one of our founding members, introduce our guest speaker today, Brianna Harris. And Laura.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Linda. Always a pleasure to be here for our May edition. And as we were planning for May, and we know that Mother's Day is such an important and valuable time, I knew that I had to bring Brianna Harris on, because, you know, we were at an event together, and Brianna, you know, has a new little one that's a few months old. And Brianna actually said to me, you know what, Laura, even though I had planned and thought and kind of knew I could do all of this, maybe I didn't know what I didn't know. And now that I'm a new mom, I think I have some insights to share. So I knew that she was someone that we wanted to bring on to share her insights, and just to tell everyone a little bit about Brianna. So I met Brianna back in, I think, 2020, when she was the community manager for a women's group that I was part of. And she came in there with growing engagement and bringing us together. And she did such an amazing job. Then she went to Arrive and kind of did the same thing there. And she literally had a pivotal role in doubling that business within a year. Now she's a loan officer. So she's a loan officer at CMS Mortgage. And she was sharing with us that at 8 months pregnant, she was taking her NMLS test. So this is someone that nothing's going to stop her. She's on a track of success professionally and personally. And I think we all can learn a thing or two. My dear friend, Brianna Harris.
Thank you, Laura. It was an amazing intro. I really appreciate it. So yes, so I just had a baby. He just turned 5 months old, and he's the best thing that's ever happened to me, but he is wild. And I definitely, like Laura said, I went into it. With work, I'm very A-type personality. I really like to I'm big on time blocking. I have things structured in place. I'm always willing to pivot, but I do have things that I like to get done every day. And what the biggest thing I've learned since having a baby is some days those things don't get done. Some days we have to work really late to get up really early, or get up really early because you're exhausted. It's a balancing act, and every single day is different. There's never one day that is just, where I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this today, and that's what gets done. And I've had to come to grips with reality and say that's okay. Because at first I've always held my career at the very top of everything that I do. My career is the most important. And now having a baby, that is more important than that, to know that, okay, I had to be a really good mom today. So I had to move some things around, and this thing not getting done is not that important because he needed me. So with all of that being said, it has taught me a lot about how to structure my day and different things that need to be in place in order for me to be a good loan officer, to bring business in. And on top of that, I'm a branch manager. So we're getting ready to hire and really grow our Tennessee office with CMS. So what I've done, my biggest, so like you've heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a baby. Well, it definitely does, internally with work and also with family. And I'm not from Tennessee, so my family's not here. So I have to try and lean on friends, my husband's family, things of that nature. But internally through work, it is the most incredible system that we have in place. So it allows me to really focus on building relationships, which is what I'm good at. I bring in those clients, I bring in our files, all the docs that we need. And then I have a loan officer, we have pre-underwriters, we have this whole system in place that allows me to continue to do what I'm good at, which also allows me to set up a schedule where, I'm very transparent with my clients. If he's crying in the back, I say, oh, I just had a baby. I introduce him a little bit. But it allows me to keep a flow going because I'm not being bogged down on the other things involving the loan. And I know that my team knows how I am, how I like things done. So they communicate with me every step of the way, because that's been huge too. I am not somebody who can just leave it and trust that it's done. I really like to know every step of the way how things are going. I love to nurture those relationships with my clients, so that after we close, they are going to come back to me and refinance when it's time. So anyway, I want to get tactical with you guys and just kind of tell you about my process. So once a client reaches out to me that they're interested in buying a home, what I first do, I get on the call with them and just start that, that conversation. I like to ask them some general questions, get to know them outside of just the loan that they're looking to get, the home that they're looking to get. I do ask them a couple personal questions. From there, as soon as that call's done, I schedule a time to get on a Google Meet with them to continue that conversation. I like to be face-to-face with my clients as much as I possibly can, because I have found that if you put a face to whatever you're doing, it locks in that relationship and it makes them feel like they have sort of like a bond with you. They've gotten to know you. From there, the minute that conversation is done, they go immediately into my CRM. I don't do, if I write myself a note like, hey, enter blah, blah, blah in your CRM, it's not getting done. I need to do it right there on the spot. And then in my CRM, I already have milestones set up to make sure that I'm following up with them. So those things, those initial setups of making sure my CRM is in place, making sure my emails are where I need them to be, it does take a little time on the front end, but it pays off in the back end. So if you are one of those people where I've been there, where you're like, I have this system, I have this, but I haven't set it up, stop what you're doing, set it up. There's so many people out there that work for, I use Bonzo. So there's people who work for Bonzo who will stop and help me. And that goes with like, if you use Arrive, that goes with anything. So just take that time, set up your systems, because it makes everything run so smoothly. So from there, once they're in my CRM, I do like to send them weekly updates, depending on where they're at with the loan, right? If they are wanting to close pretty quickly, they're already shopping, you're in contact with a realtor, things like that, I just like to send them weekly videos of me saying, hey, I just wanted to let you know everything's going really great. Give them some updates on where we're at, even if there aren't any real updates to give. Just that little personal touch, they really respond well to it. They're being reassured that I'm working hard, that I'm still with them, even if my processors are the ones with them. You know, my processors take over everything once I bring that file in, but they don't know that. And I want them to know that I'm right there with them. So we do that. Once they go under contract, I have, it's called Handwritten, HANDWRYTTEN. It's a website or it's a platform you go to, and they send out cards to clients or referral partners, whomever, that look like your handwriting. So I have Handwritten integrated into my CRM. So the minute they go under contract, the minute they close, their anniversary, their birthday, they get a handwritten card from me. I get to customize the front of it. And it just really helps, again, with those personal touches that I don't have time. I have a baby, I have all these things. So I need these things set up so that it just does it for me. So those are things that have really, really helped me. I have also found a lot of success in social media. I'm sure you all already know social media is a powerhouse. I've gotten almost every single one of my clients through social media. And that again comes to, I am going to be honest with you, today was one of the first days in a while that I had to put makeup on and look nice, because most days I have puke on my shirt, my hair is in a bun. My husband came out this morning because I got a call from a client at 6 a.m. this morning, and I was right in the middle of trying to get ready, just put the baby down for a nap. I'm on my computer sitting on the floor in the living room with a bra on, sweatpants, and my hair in a bun. And my husband comes out and he's like, what are you doing? I'm just trying to get stuff done, doing what I can. So what I do with social media to help on days, because most days are like that, to help with that is I pick one day a month, and I have a list of scripts that I go through, a list of topics that I want to cover for that month. And I give myself 2 hours to take, I'll change my outfit 3 times. And by outfit, I have like blazers. So I'll switch out my blazers, I'll switch my top, and I take as many photos as humanly possible in all those outfits. I then record all of my videos. If you should be doing 30 seconds to a minute. If you're going over a minute, 2 minutes, you've lost everybody, which is nice because that frees us up for more time. So I try and batch everything out. With the photos, don't spend time looking at them, critiquing yourself too much. I like to take them, let them sit for a minute and look at them with fresh eyes, because a lot of times I'm more forgiving later on when I relook at things. But from there, I will go ahead and I make all my content on, I'll schedule out one day, I'll time block this one day and be like, okay, babe, it's Sunday. You've got the baby, I'm getting my content done. And then I schedule it out for the entire month, and I don't have to think about it again. That helps me stay consistent. It helps my mind know that it is done, because if I don't do that, it weighs on me. And every night I'm like, I forgot to do something today. I really wanted to put a video out. So it's just those little things that if you just schedule that time with yourself to do it, it's done. And then you can breathe for the rest of the month. It makes a huge, huge difference. Trying to think of other ththings. Oh, something else that I use that I love that helps me is I go for walks with my baby all the time. He goes to the gym with me. We just, we go out in the town, things like that. And I don't always have business cards on me because I don't always have pockets in my yoga pants and things. So I also utilize, it's called Popple. It's a digital business card. and you just either have to tap into your phone or they can scan that QR code on the back, pay for the business plan with it, because you get a lead generation form. So the minute somebody scans that, they enter their information, and now they have your contact information, you have theirs, and through Popple, they send you automatic updates to be like, hey, did you reach out to Karen the other day? No, I didn't. Okay, good, thank you. So things like that make your life easier, lean in on them, because there's so many things out there. It can be hard when we're really busy, we're doing a million different things. But just take some time to do some research, try and stay on top of what's coming out, or reach out to, if you have any younger people in your life, I don't know how they find everything, but they know everything about what is coming out, social media, gadgets, things like that. Ask them. And then try to set up that time with yourself to set it up so that in the long run, it pays off. I want to stop and see if anybody has any questions before I continue. Does anybody have any systems that they've found that are working for them to help them be proficient? Oh, somebody just sent in the chat.
I think card
Oh,
tap.
there you go.
Yeah, I think card tap's really good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, so somebody brought up that it's on their background. So that's really smart too, because Popple gives you a QR code. So if you have that as your screensaver, then you never have to worry, because sometimes if, like, I found if people have an OtterBox and you go to tap it, it doesn't work. And then you look like a little like, oh, let me do blah, blah, blah. It's not as like smooth and, bringing out that technology. So you can save it as the wallpaper, and then people can just scan your QR code right there. It definitely helps. All right. So yeah, so with that, I think, I don't know if, I'm sure everybody in here, just about everybody, is a mom and has had their own struggles. I would love to hear if anybody has, did you work with kids? Did you find, I've been having a very hard time with having somebody watch him. I'm playing with the idea. I have somebody that I'm going to test run to come and sit in the house with me, because I'm not comfortable having him go somewhere just yet. And I get to work from home. So why not have him right there? But I definitely deal with the whole, like, I want to do it all. I know a lot of other women who have been able to do it all, but is that me, fighting with an internal thing? Should I keep trying to make it, or, lean in on what is out there? And just like I do with my integrations, like, am I doing myself a disservice not hiring somebody? Has anybody done the full stay-at-home LO all the time route?
I will say I was like that too. I was like, oh, I'm so independent, and I even feel guilty sometimes for asking my husband for help. But yeah, I'm a full-time real estate agent. So I have a 10-month-old today. She's 10 months old today. And I was going to do everything all by myself on my own or whatever. Well, my aunt owns a daycare, and I was going crazy sitting at the house with her, talking on the phone with clients. Like, I listed a house the day I went into labor with her. So that was very hard for me to let go of her. But my aunt was like, I have a daycare. Just take her up to the daycare. You can have free childcare. And I was like, okay, well, that's awesome, because I was stressing out about paying for daycare. But the first week was hard, I will say, but that's the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah,
it gave me my sanity back.
Well, congratulations on a 2-month-old. I remember it gets a little easier. I'd say, like, after 4 months, it was like a different baby, because they change so much all the time. But yeah, daycare is wildly expensive, and it is definitely hard. But yeah, I was in the same boat with you. I was answering email. I was in labor for 48 hours. And so I can't take 48 hours off. Like, are you kidding me? So I'm answering emails in bed, and my husband's like, just put, like, babe, come on. No, it's fun. Yeah, I know. I struggle with that too. I like being independent. I like doing everything myself. But yeah, I always wonder, I'm like, am I doing him a disservice? Because I can't give him all of me, and then I get stressed, and I don't want him to know that I'm stressed out trying to be a great mom to him, and also a great broker to everybody who's working with me.
Definitely hard, but it's worth it.
It's definitely worth it. It's funny. I have so many, sometimes I wish that all of my calls were recorded because I have him crying sometimes and I've got him on one shoulder and I'm doing it, or, I'm having my Google Meets and I'm feeding him and you just go with it. In the beginning, I was very like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And a really big thing that I have decided was that I'm done saying sorry because there's nothing to be sorry about. He's my baby. This is what it is. It does not make me any less of, who I am. I'm not going to give you worse service because I'm a mom. This is just me if anything, this is me showing you that I'm about to get you the best mortgage on your home. And I'm also going to take care of a baby at the same time. So if you really want to work with somebody who's badass, then let's go. So yeah, it's definitely difficult, but like you said, it's absolutely
Amy,
worth
were
it.
you wanting to say something?
Well, I was just gonna say earlier to her like question, I have 3.5-year-old twins.
Oh my goodness.
And they were born right before we went into the pandemic. And so they've basically been home forever. And then when it came time to like things started opening up, I was the same way. I'm like, I don't want them to leave. So we ended up hiring a nanny who stays with us. And I will say, like, what's going through your head is the same thing that goes through my head, even on a daily basis. Like, I want them nearby and I want to know they're taken care of. But I also know for a fact that trying to take care of kids and do your job at the same time, especially when they start to get older, is like almost impossible. So there is a point where like, yeah, I have to let go of that control. I haven't let it go completely because they're still in the house, but sometimes even that's frustrating because then I can't really separate and get everything as done as I need to, and end up working like later hours or earlier mornings or whatever. But I just wanted to say, like, I totally get what you're saying. And like, that's what's worked for us now, but it still isn't always ideal because like, it would be nice to sometimes have like, not to have to worry about them because they're naturally going to be the first thing you worry about. But anyway, that was what I was going to say.
Yeah, forever. We worry about them forever, even when they're adults and things like that. I know. Yeah. And I found, I don't know if anybody else felt like this, but when I first, even through pregnancy and when I first had him, I felt so alone. Like I felt like nobody understood where I was at. I couldn't, I'm not great at reaching out to people to be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Like, can you come over? Things like that. And I just felt so lonely. Like this baby needed me so much. My husband is an amazing father, but he can't breastfeed. He can't step in and help me with my loans and things like that. There was so many things that they weigh on your mind, and I don't want those things to bring me down or to slow me down. I want to keep pushing forward. And it was a constant fight with myself to try and overcome those feelings. There was a lot of days where I wanted to like reach out to certain people and just have somebody be like, it's going to be all right. But I was like, no, like that's just not who I am. I'm going to keep going. We're going to figure this out. We're going to work through it. And maybe nobody even notices that I'm feeling a certain way. Or a big thing I dealt with was my body. I had a C-section, and prior to being pregnant, I was very into fitness. I was very thin, and I worked really hard to get that way. And then this baby comes, and you look at your body, and it's different than anything you've ever seen in your entire life. It feels different. Clothes just fit different, and nothing makes sense. And I would try so hard to fit my jeans up, and things would just smush into places. And I had to, it was tough. But I had to just be like, this is part of it. You birthed a beautiful, healthy boy. And one day, maybe you'll have your old body back. And if not, that's fine too, because this new body is beautiful and it did incredible things. So those are all, it's a lot of things that weigh on our mind and that we have to cope with while we're working. It's, we don't always get those moments to have like that maternity leave where you get to just focus on baby and then you get to go back to work. For the people that do, it's amazing and that's great, but that's just not the case for everybody. So it gave me a big, mothers don't get enough credit for how incredible they all are, because they are rock stars, the things that they do, and the women that have babies back to back to back. So I give them so much support and credit, because I could not imagine. We want to have another one, but I'm like, oh, I need a breather. It's going to take a little bit. Yeah. So does anybody else want to share any stories or tips or things that have helped them, whether that is like with motherhood or with work. And it can be, you know, if there's anybody in here who's not a mom, things when life gets really crazy, like how you've managed to push through.
I just want to say that, Brianna, I really liked your badass comment, because I work in appraisal management, which is very male dominated. And when I started there, I had an 11-month-old, and I have a son who just turned 1 last week. So being in this male dominated space and saying, okay, well, I can do everything you can do, and I'm a mom. Like, I tell myself every day, I'm a badass. I am badass. I am awesome. That's how I get through my day. That's what I tell all of the women that work underneath me. You're a badass. You can do this. You are just as good. You have a baby that makes you even better. You're a badass.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that I loved that comment, because that's what I tell myself
Thank
every
you.
day.
That's awesome. I love that. More women should tell themselves that every day. And I don't know if anybody felt this way, but they're almost, so I love a challenge. There's nothing that gets me fired up more than like the competition, a challenge. And there was something that came with having a baby and working that I felt like, and some people did say some things that, you know, weren't great. And to almost make you feel like, oh, you're going to be able to do that. And it was something about that I was like, you wait, you watch me do it, and you watch me, you know, be better than you at it. So yeah, it's tough being in that male dominated field. And I feel like, you know, there is that stigma that comes with the minute you have a mom, like you're suddenly almost like handicapped in a sense. Like, well, you're not gonna be able to do it as well as me. Wrong. Yeah. All right, ladies, anybody else?
Well, excellent. It was a great session. And I love the handwritten notes, the weekly videos, social media, getting everything ready and doing your 30-second little spots so that you know, I couldn't do it in 2 hours, but you know, I probably took 2 days to do that many. But the topple, and let's see, and then how to manage, you know, your life with babies, with, you know, having children. And I will say, when I'm old now, but when I was young, we had a store downtown. We were interior decorators, and I just built a place right onto my house, a shop, and we were there for the kids to grow up. And we had a lady that came in and took care of the kids during the day. We ran our business, and you know, you do what you have to do and what you want to do. I mean, you know, you make it work. And I think that's one of the things that's so good. And I'm sure that everyone got something great out of today. Like you said, you did a great job, Brianna. You pulled the business in with being a mom, and it was absolutely wonderful. And Laura, thank you so much for helping find her for us. We love that. And we always try to respect everyone's time. And it's almost time, but next month we have Christy Dickey, and she's going to do the power of discipline. And I know we all need a little discipline, and Brianna's working with the CRM. That's, you know, a great way to, you know, discipline your life. But next month we're going to find out what Christy is going to tell us about the power of discipline. You got a minute? Anybody want to say anything else?
I just want to say amazing job, Brianna. Absolutely resonated with everyone. And for all of your moms out there, of course, happy Mother's Day, but also a piece of advice from Linda and I that are at the other spectrum of our kids are grown. Please know a couple of things. Everything comes in seasons. So whether you're in the season of a new baby or a teenager or at the other end of things, adjust based on that season. It's not always going to be the same. Take the guilt off of your back, because you are amazing. You are all powerful women leaders. You are leading yourselves, you're leading your family, you're leading your businesses. Give yourself a break and don't put so much pressure on you. Depending on what season you're on, you will change. And don't ever be afraid to ask for help. So many times we think we have to wear a cape and we have to be super women. We can ask for help. We're there to support each other, whether it's your family, your businesses, us, we are there for you. Wishing all of you a very happy Mother's Day. Love you all.
Thank you, and see you next month, same time. Bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Great session.